During a job interview for the position of nanny to a baby who is about to be born, Clara helps Anna relieve the symptoms of her contractions and, thanks to this skill, she ends up being hired. As she is introduced to the house where she be staying from now on, the woman sees a music box in the baby's room and is enchanted by the beautiful song that comes out of it. During the conversation, Anna reveals that she will need help cooking and looking after the house after the baby is born, and Clara soon realizes that she won't just be hired as a nanny, as she had imagined. When she gets home, she starts to pack her suitcases, but when she opens the closet, she realizes that all her clothes have disappeared. Immediately, Clara goes after Donna Amelia, and the woman tells her that she will only return her things once her tenant has paid the rent. At this point, Clara reveals that she has found a new job and guarantees that she will pay everything she owes by next week. Despite knowing her tenant's history of jumping from job to job, Donna Amelia decides to give her a vote of confidence and returns the clothes to her. The next day, when Clara arrives at her new boss's house, she notices that Anna isn't there, so she takes the opportunity to start cleaning the place and tidying up the rooms. During the cleaning, she finds a revolver hidden in one of the drawers and puts it back. After making dinner, Clara checks if her boss needs anything else and then gets ready for bed. The next day, she accompanies Anna to the doctor's for an ultrasound and, on discovering that she is going to be the mother of a boy, the woman is disappointed. As time goes by, Clara takes on more and more new responsibilities around the house and is even given the task of painting the baby's room. Weeks later, Clara still hasn't met Anna's husband, who is celebrating her 29th birthday in the company of her newest friend. According to Anna, none of her family have even sent her a congratulatory message, and, since January, when she moved to the city, everyone in her social circle has cut off contact. Before moving to the big city, Anna lived on a farm with her family, but when she got pregnant out of wedlock, her parents wouldn't accept the child, so she left. Weeks later, when she returns for a doctor's appointment, Anna discovers that her blood pressure is high and the doctor puts her on a new diet. After a few days of not being able to eat meat, the woman starts to get delirious at night and gets up to rummage through the fridge. When she hears a noise coming from the kitchen, Clara begins to suspect that something is wrong and goes to check it out. Just then, Anna approaches and bites the woman, enjoying her blood. Terrified, Clara runs to the bathroom to clean herself up, and, the next morning, Anna tells her that she had a very strange dream that night. Realizing that her boss doesn't remember what happened, Clara decides to ignore the attack and comes to the conclusion that Anna is suffering from sleepwalking. The following night, Anna wakes up with her eyes shining and walks down the stairs to the garage. After leaving the building, she walks aimlessly through the streets and crosses the entire city on her own. Luckily, Clara sees the woman leaving the house and goes after her. Seeing a stray cat walking alone, Anna lures it away and picks it up. The woman then eliminates the little thing and devours it, as if possessed by some animal spirit. Terrified, Clara decides not to go near it and, the next morning, is worried to see Anna acting as if nothing had happened. In an attempt to understand what is going on, Clara puts a special spice on Anna's plate and the woman finds the pasta with drops of blood delicious. Noticing that her employee has been acting strangely lately, Anna decides to probe to find out what's going on, so Clara decides to reveal the truth. When she discovers that she is suffering from sleepwalking, the woman is shocked and feels bad when she is told that she attacked Clara while she was asleep. According to her observations, the mistress only acts like that on nights with a full moon, so, to test her theory, Clara puts flour around Anna's bed, so that she will know if she got up during the night. The next morning, Clara has her suspicions confirmed. As there was no full moon that night, Anna was able to sleep peacefully. A few days later, when she realizes that her money is running out and the bills are tight, Anna decides to remove the precious stones from one of her boots to sell. While helping her with this task, Clara takes the opportunity to ask why her boss has a gun, and Anna reveals that she used to use the revolver to defend herself against wild animals when she lived on the farm. When asked about the last time she used the gun, Anna says that one night, when she was still living with her parents, she decided to go to a bar by herself, where she met Jorge. That night, they decided to leave together and ended up staying in the car. After the relationship, Anna fell asleep and woke up to the sound of a growl. At that moment, she realized that Jorge had already left, so she took out her gun and shot the creature. To this day, Anna doesn't know which animal it was that attacked her, but she has never forgotten its glowing eyes that exuded hatred. Since then, she has never seen Jorge again and never had the chance to tell him that she was pregnant, because no one in the town knew him. A few days later, after returning from yet another appointment, Anna appears upset and asks Clara to go to the supermarket to buy her something to eat before bed. However, as soon as the woman leaves the house, Anna starts taking medication to calm down and ends up swallowing one pill after another. Before entering the apartment, Clara realizes that it is the night of the full moon and rushes to check that Anna is all right. However, when she arrives in the bedroom, she finds the woman writhing in pain and tries to calm her down in an attempt to reduce the contractions. Not knowing what to do to help her, Clara rushes to the phone to call the doctor. In the meantime, the baby in Anna's belly tears her belly free and the woman ends up bleeding heavily. At that moment, Clara realizes that something serious has happened and rushes back to her room, as she hasn't managed to speak to the doctor who is monitoring her boss's pregnancy. When she arrives in the bedroom, Clara is confronted with a terrifying scene and sees Anna's bloodied body lying on the bed, her organs jutting out. When she sees the monster that did it crawling across the floor, Clara grabs the revolver that is kept on the bedside table and prepares to shoot. However, when she realizes that the little monster is in pain and can barely breathe, Clara decides to help it and removes the umbilical cord that is wrapped around its neck. Then, instead of eliminating it, Clara packs her bags and leaves with the baby in her arms. After leaving it on the banks of a lake, the woman walks away, but changes her mind when she hears the child crying and decides to keep it, even though she knows she will have to live with the trauma of everything that happened that night forever. On arriving at her old home, Clara opens the music box and then feeds Joel, who grows quickly and becomes a very healthy boy. Over the next few years, Clara managed to complete her nursing degree and began to care for the elderly at home. One of the patients Clara helps look after is Donna Norma, Amanda's grandmother, who is Joel's schoolmate. Knowing that it's the boy's birthday that day, Amanda gives him a bracelet as a present and is saddened to discover that he won't be taking part in the school's June party. Unlike other children his age, Joel is forbidden to eat meat and sausages. His entire diet is based on vegetables and other non-animal foods. Although he doesn't understand exactly why his adoptive mother forces him to eat this kind of diet, Joel just follows it without fighting back. At the end of her working day at the neighborhood pharmacy, Clara picks Joel up from school and, when she gets home, she discovers that Donna Amelia has prepared a surprise birthday party for the boy. Before blowing out the candles, Joel makes a request and enjoys his party until early evening, as he has to get home before the sun goes down. As on every full moon night, Joel is forced to sleep in a secret room, which Clara hides behind the closet. After 7 years of being chained up before being transformed, Joel has gotten used to the discomfort, but what he has never been able to accept is the fact that he is forbidden to go to parties with his friends. The school's June party is scheduled for next Wednesday and all the boy wanted was to be able to accompany Amanda to the event, but as it will still be a full moon on the night of the party, his mother forbids him to go. The next morning, after a long night of struggling to free himself from the chains, Joel wakes up in the bathtub next to his mother, who is cutting his nails and helping him get rid of the excess hair that is all over his body. At this point, Joel asks Clara to tell him once again the story of how she found him and the woman says that, on a full moon night, a furry baby appeared on the bank of a river that was next to a very large bridge. According to Clara, she was on her way home when she passed this bridge and began to hear a very low cry. She immediately went down to the riverbank and found Joel wrapped in a blue blanket. Every time he hears this story, Joel wonders who abandoned him and why they left him alone on the banks of a river, but Clara has never known how to answer this question. Realizing that her son is not well, the woman decides to leave him in the care of Donna Amelia before going to work and says that she has left his lunch ready in the fridge. However, as time goes by, Amelia notices that Joel is weak and looking haggard, so she decides to prepare something special for him. Even though Clara doesn't allow Joel to eat meat, the neighbor cooks him a steak and asks Joel not to tell his mother this secret. When he tries a piece of meat for the first time, Joel is overwhelmed by all the flavor and wonders why his mother has never allowed him to try it before. Hours later, when she arrives home, Clara finds her son holding a photo of Anna, which she had lovingly kept hidden so that the boy wouldn't find it. Curious, Joel begins to question Clara and claims that she lied about how she found him. On hearing that his mother perished on the day he was born, the boy goes berserk and Clara drags him into the bedroom. Luckily, Clara manages to handcuff the boy before he turns and goes to talk to Donna Amelia to try to understand what happened that day. When she is put up against the wall, Amelia reveals that she cooked Joel a steak and, at that moment, Clara understands the reason for the boy's revolt. Just then, the woman hears someone calling at the gate and discovers that Amanda and Mauricio have gone to see if Joel is all right. When they discover that their friend is asleep, the youngsters ask Clara to give him an object and then leave. The next day, the woman delivers Mauricio's makeshift sword to Joel and tries to make peace with the boy, answering all his questions. However, when asked how Anna perished, Clara says that the boy is not yet ready to hear this story, but promises that she will tell him everything when he grows up. The next day, Clara takes her son to school and realizes that he still hasn't managed to forgive her. During the presentation of a school assignment, Joel stages a battle with his best friend and both he and Mauricio receive applause from their classmates. After class, Joel invites Mauricio to join him on an adventure, as he is determined to find his biological father. Even after Clara tells him that Anna perished shortly after giving birth, Joel still has hope that his father might be in town and is determined to go after him. At the end of class, when she shows up at school to pick Joel up, Clara discovers that the boy has left class early and wonders if he has come home alone. However, at this time, Joel and Mauricio are walking alone through the mall and end up being questioned by security. When questioned about the whereabouts of their guardians, Mauricio points to a woman who is standing in front of a store and, luckily, she helps them lose the guard. When night falls, Clara starts to panic and goes after the parents of all Joel's friends to try and find out where he is. Noticing that they are both being followed by security once again, Mauricio and Joel hide inside a store among the clothes racks and end up trapped inside the mall. When all the stores are closed, the pair come out of hiding and realize they've gotten themselves into a lot of trouble. While walking through the food court in search of a way out, Joel is struck by moonlight and begins to fight against his own transformation. Realizing that his friend is struggling, Mauricio tries to understand what's going on and starts to get scared. At that moment, he sees a huge amount of hair growing on his friend's body and is terrified when he looks at his hands, as they have huge claws. Suddenly, Mauricio sees his friend's glowing eyes and turns away. Seeing Joel writhing on the floor, the boy starts to cry because he's terrified and has no idea how to help him. Minutes later, Joel disappears into the darkness and, when he manages to spot him again, Mauricio realizes that he has turned into a monster. Terrified, the boy starts running through the mall and presses the button to call the elevator, but the werewolf manages to catch up with him. A few hours later, in the early hours of the morning, Clara hears a noise coming from the garden and runs back home, where she finds Joel lying on the sofa with his mouth covered in blood. Worried about the boy, Donna Amelia decides to go after her tenant and discovers that her garden has been completely destroyed. On seeing Joel's body covered in hair, the old woman asks where Clara found him and decides to call the priest, as she is convinced that the boy is possessed. At this point, Clara goes after her and tries to convince the old woman not to tell anyone about what happened, but Amelia insists that Joel needs to be exorcised. In an attempt to prevent her son from being taken away or anything bad happening to him, Clara makes the difficult decision to sedate the old woman and takes advantage of the time she is unconscious to pack her bags and leave once again. Among her belongings is a diamond she inherited from Anna and a photo of her. After showering and shaving, Joel puts on his uniform and asks his mother to take him to school, but Clara tells him that they are leaving town. When asked why he disappeared last night, Joel reveals that he went out to look for his father, and Clara starts to worry that something bad might have happened to Mauricio. Furious at being forced to leave, Joel devises a plan to stop his mother from taking him away and lures her into the bedroom. While Clara is removing the lights from the wall, the boy locks the door and leaves her trapped inside. Just then, the woman receives a call from Angela, her work colleague, but she can't answer it because her phone has been left in the room. The pharmacy assistant is worried about Clara and has called to find out if Joel has come home, so she leaves a message for her. Turning on the TV, Angela sees the news that a brutal crime took place in a shopping mall in Sao Paulo the night before and the police have been called in to investigate. After locking his mother in the bedroom, Joel walks alone to school and starts to worry when he finds out that Mauricio hasn't gone to class. During recess, Amanda approaches him to see if his friend is all right and asks why he disappeared the night before. Meanwhile, Clara is at home doing everything she can to try and open the door, but to no avail. Hours later, Angela rings the doorbell and decides to break in when she realizes that no one will answer it. As she enters Clara's house, the attendant hears the knocks and rushes to open the door. When she finally manages to get out, Clara grabs her revolver and goes after Joel. That Friday is the day of the June party at the school, so the woman soon realizes that her son is at the event. Minutes before the quadrille begins, while he is rehearsing with Amanda, Joel begins to transform and ends up hurting the girl's hand. Seeing her friend undergoing the transformation process, the girl turns away and begins to cry, as she is paralyzed with fear. Suddenly, Joel's clothes start to tear and, once again, the boy turns into a werewolf. Just as he's about to attack Amanda, Clara appears and makes the difficult decision to shoot her own son. As the little monster lies on the ground with a leg wound, Amanda rushes to the front of the stage and starts shouting to warn people. Clara quickly takes Joel back home and handcuffs him so that she can remove the bullet that is lodged in his body. While treating her son's wound and bandaging it to protect it, Clara hears a large group of angry people approaching and begins to worry about the boy's fate. At this point, all Clara can do is reassure Joel, and she sings a song to try to calm him down. When she finally wakes up, Donna Amelia sees a large group of people invading the place and soon comes to the conclusion that they are after Joel. After a few minutes listening to the song sung by his mother, the werewolf manages to calm down and realizes that she is not his enemy. Minutes later, Clara hears the sound of a legion of angry people banging on the door and realizes that, very soon, the group will be able to get into the little room. So the woman decides to free Joel to give him a chance to defend himself and, to her surprise, instead of attacking her, the boy decides to ally himself with her in the battle against the enemies who want to exterminate him. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.